Hello everybody, welcome back. This is RetroStar. We're doing it on the Super C's channel. This is our latest run. I'm very happy about this one. Guys, sit back and relax. This is a really good treat. This is your girl RetroStar talking here. I'm going to be doing the commentary for this video for right now. This is one of the runs that I and Game Sensei have been trying to do since last year. I just started playing Captain Commando again, but we've been grinding a little bit for the last couple days to get the no death run. We've already been training a little bit last year. We got our 1cc last year on this video. So now we're doubling back to get a no death run. So this is it, guys. We did it. We did this no death run. I'm commentary for you right now again for the no death run of Captain Commando from the Super C's. So welcome, guys. This is a really good treat. I have to say, definitely, this is one of the hardest games that I've ever tried to no death run. This game right here is no joke. This is not a game that you just thinking that you're just going to be button mashing and getting a no death run. This game takes a lot of tactics and a lot of teamwork to get a no death run under this, because seriously, the game cheapens you out a lot. And I've learned that from playing last year, you know, with the doppels. You know, the doppels have been the main no death run killer of this game. So it's a lot to talk about, and I'm absolutely trying to get everything in during this run. Right now we're at the second stage. I found my niche with Baby. At first I thought I was going to be doing the ninja, but for some reason me and Baby seem to connect. Baby seems to be really precise and really strong. So I think that using Baby, you know, with me still trying to learn the game and learn the actions of the enemies, Baby is one that I start out with because he's a really strong, even if he does look less intimidating, he's very strong. So I really connected with Baby. So that's why I ended up using Baby, and Baby ended up being the character that I did the no death run with. I thought it was going to be the ninja that was the one, but it ended up being Baby. So Baby Commando to be precise. But yes, Baby seems to connect. We seem to have a great connection with each other. So yes, Baby is my character in this no death run. So right now we're taking on the stage 2 boss, which can get really hairy sometimes. What makes this Captain Commando such a really hard contender as far as no death running, the game does not stay the same. The game changes every time you play it.
That's how a black man does it.
Enemies seem to have a different niche every time you play it. It's always something different happening. So it's almost like you play and you win by luck, you know, especially with the doppels, because you don't always get food. And we've always had to depend on the food to survive in the doppel fight. So for some reason, for the last couple of days, me and Game Sensei started doing really hard training, and we have found a way to beat the doppels without needing the source. So that was the secret to the no death run in this. And that's how we were able to absolutely do this incredible run, is to find a niche, is to find a tactic, to work together, keep each other alive without needing food. Absolutely learning the characteristics and learning the characters' movements. Mind you, it's not easy because the characters' movements and the characters' actions are not the same every time you play this game. It's always different. That's what made Captain Commando such a hard game to no death run. You can't just play this game and face these enemies head on. They will demolish you quickly. It's almost like a hit, even though you have a bar of life there. It is almost like a one-hit kill. Sometimes you get one-hit kills in this game. So that's why you absolutely have to do this tactical. What was annoying last year trying to do this game with Game Sensei was I had to absolutely stay tactical in this game, which sometimes gets a little boring. And sometimes I get bored with trying to. But thing of it is when you're doing a no death run, it's all about survival. Sometimes I have to stand back and a lot of times when you're playing two players in this game, it ups the ante. You know, like I said before, I've told a lot of players that when you play two players in these arcade brawlers, you gotta remember arcade brawlers are made to fuck you up. So you can't just go head on with these characters and think that you're going to survive every time. It's not going to happen every time. Arcade games are made to fucking take your money. So you have to use teamwork and tactics to get by without dying. That's the secret. If you really want to know, if you really want to do a no death run in this game, you got to come up with a tactic. If you want to do it with a player, you have to have a strategy. You cannot face these characters head on. They will fuck you up sometimes in one hit, especially this guy right here. This one right here has always been one of the toughest contenders and one of the toughest enemies in the entire game, because that blade that he comes at you with could body you in 2 hits. If he hits you twice with that, you're gone. If he hits you twice, and not to mention the samurais will fuck you up too. And then you have to move around. You can't just stay in one spot. You have to absolutely move around. In this game, you have to move around. You can't stay in one spot here. You gotta move around. You gotta I have to try to keep the enemies back so the Game Sensei can concentrate on the boss. It actually takes teamwork to get these enemies bodied, man. And I can't stress it no more. This is one of the hardest games I've ever played. I absolutely thought Final Fight was the hardest. I've actually aced Final Fight. I haven't recorded no death run for Final Fight yet, but I will. But this right here, this game, it's the devil. It is the devil, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen Game Sensei play this game by himself, and you have seen him rage over this game so many times. I kid you not, Game Sensei has broken 2 controllers over this game, and Game Sensei is a pro with this. He has done a no death run in this years ago. You know, this is just my first no death run. This is my first no death run in this game. He has no death run in this game many times, and he's done it on the hardest setting. So the next, the very next feat will be in the hardest settings with Game Sensei, and that's going to be another game altogether. When you're going up in difficulty in this game, it's like playing a whole different game. The enemies become more aggressive. You have to change tactics. You can't use the same tactics you did in default. You have to absolutely change tactics and become more aggressive player to beat and defeat these enemies. Even in default settings, they are aggressive. Like I say, it's an arcade game. These games are made to kick your ass, and it is made to take your money. So you have to play aggressively and tactically. You can't do a no death or a perfect in this game by just button mashing and hitting enemies. You have to know where the enemies are coming. You have to know where they're going to be, and you have to know where to stand and face the enemies, because they will come in and sometimes they would take you out. Not knowingly, they do different things every time. So this game right here is a really special game that I know death run, and I'm proud of the accomplishment. I'm proud that we were able to do this, because this game is nothing to fuck with. When you want to say no death run tactics, it's hell. I am not going to fucking lie. Right here, you see I call him the cucumber monster. He's keeping them back with the robot. But mind you, there's sometimes he gets out of this. he gets out of this and he'll come. I see how I'm standing in the corner over there. He comes straight at me. I have to be ready for him because he might decide that he wants to come at me and not face Game Sensei. So I'm not just standing back there just relaxing. I still have to stay on guard and keep my guard up because the game always changes. It always changes. You know what I'm saying? He might decide he wants to come and see how he's doing that right there. He came at me right there, and I was ready to throw my power on him. I have to be ready for these guys because they are there to kill you. They are there to fucking diminish you. Usually on stage 5 is usually like a break for me. I could just get in the corner and just not worry about the bonus because this is a no death run. I don't have to worry about doing the bonus. So this is kind of like a way for me to sort of shake my hands, stretch, or whatever I need to do so I can get ready to take on some really, really hard enemies. So this is a way of laying back and just chilling and taking a small break. So, you know, after this, you know, it's going to be nothing but the worst. So yeah, me and Game Sensei for the last 2 days have been practicing on the doppels and practicing on the last boss and the doppels. We have came up with our own strategy on the doppels and it is worked for us. So I'm really, really excited. And our next feat will be on the hardest settings, and then the next feat after that will be Game Sensei does have this game on a PCB board and he has an arcade. So when we get a hold of the arcade, we'll do it on natural hardware. And we will do a no death run on the default and do it on the hardest settings on natural hardware as well. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Captain Commando out of the Super Cs and Retro Star. So stay tuned for that, guys. It's exciting. This game is actually a great game. It's a great game. I love this game. I've learned to love it, even though I love and hate it at the same time. It's a really fun game. When you really learn it, when you really learn the game, it can be really fun. All the other enemies have became a cakewalk for me. All the other bosses, but remember, it's not the same way all the time. Actually, there was a run that was better than this one that I did before that I actually failed in when I got to the doppels just because of one little eensy-weensy hit. But this actually turned out to be the no death run, so this is the one that got recorded. But the run I did before this one, after we did our doppel training, I was almost flawless in every boss. So it's like we came out battle hardened. Doing battle hardened training is important when you're doing games like this. When you want to train yourself, doing the enemies, certain enemies that you have hard time with. You train until you get good, and then once you know that you've got it down pat, I'm giving you some pro tips here. Once you know that you got it down pat, do the whole entire game. It makes a fucking difference, guys. Practice makes perfect, guys. Don't think that there's no game that you can no death run out there. This is one of the hardest I've ever came across. I'm telling you, out of all the no death runs I've done, this is the hardest because it does not stay the same. The doppels has absolutely been ruthless and has been the very thing that has killed our no death runs. Even when we did our 1cc, it is the doppels fight that was the absolute no death run killer. So we have learned to practice and learn the characteristics and learn how to skillfully take out the doppels without depending on food. And that's how we defeated the doppels. It's learning how to depend on them without food. The last boss is a cakewalk. The last boss is absolutely not a problem. He became a cakewalk. It's the doppels. The doppels should have absolutely been the last boss in this game. So now this boss that we're coming across right here, absolutely have to know what you're doing. Okay, this is not easy. 2 of these guys right here is no joke. We came up with our own strategy here. As you can see, I get in the corner, I do my power and keep doing my power to make sure I'm immune to all of the arrows is coming at me, and then I can help Game Sensei stay alive while he's taking on these two guys. When you're doing 2 players, guys, teamwork is absolutely important. For 2 players to take these guys head on, you cannot do it. You have to absolutely rely on strategy. You have to have one player doing one thing and another player doing another. You can't thinking you both can just brawl and just take out the enemies without knowing a strategy. It has to be strategized because these guys will fuck you up. You can't take them head on. It has to be strategized. Right now, you see, this is strategy. Absolutely 100% strategy is how we beat this boss right here. Because that boss right there.
That wheel. Spin that wheel.
You're not careful.
Spin that wheel.
Okay.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel. Spin them hoes. Oh no!
So I'm just totally fascinated by this run because it's just amazing how we tactically just went through this whole game. With 2 players, mind you, 2 players. When you play 2 players, the game becomes more aggressive. The game becomes more. It ups the ante. Like I said before, when you add another player, it always becomes harder. I bet you I could beat this game by myself with no problem. So when you add another player to the game all the time, it becomes harder. So you have to rely on tactics. You have to rely on tactics to survive. Even with 2 players. Even when you add another player, it does not dumb it down. It ups the ante. The enemies become twice as aggressive. The enemies become twice as powerful. So you have to use tactics to take them down. And that's what fascinates me about this, is because this victory is because of teamwork. This victory is because of tactics. This victory is because of using the tactics to knowing the characteristics of your enemies, knowing where they're going to be, where they're going to come at you. Right now, I'm in the corner right here because I know that these guys are going to come at me. And there's so many of them on the screen. And you notice all of them have guns. They could fuck us both up at the same time, going at both of us. So me being up there in the corner is absolutely taking all of the pressure off Game Sensei. And making them come to me so that I could take them out without taking a hit, without taking a hit directly. Sometimes you can't take these guys on directly. They will fuck you up, and you know what I'm saying? So right here, I'm being made to stay back so that Game Sensei could stay in the corner in the upper left and take these guys on and make sure they target him instead of me, the gunner guy, and make sure I just take out the gunner guys and take out the Mardias. The Mardias are a threat because they're strong, they spit on you, and they're Amazonian women they're very strong, that could absolutely probably body you if you let them. So right here, being made to stay up at the top and, you know, do my thing here. It's all about tactics, guys. You really want to do a no-death run. Sometimes you got to rely on tactics and skill. Not just skill alone. Skill alone in this game, you're not going to win. Okay? You still have to rely on tactics because the enemies are here to take you out, and you got to remember arcade games are there to take your money. So they made these games hard for a reason. I'm drinking on some vodka right now, so you know, forgive me if you hear any smacking or anything like that. But I wanted to do a commentary on this because I wanted to give you my thoughts on we're not talking much in this run because of the intensity of the run. Sometimes talking sort of takes your focus off of the run, so we could not say much. The only way we could say much is when we're taking breaks in between, but when we're trying to battle, it's hard to try to speak much. So we didn't really talk much in this, so this is why I'm doing a commentary version. we're uploading the natural version without the commentary. So you take your pick as to which one you want to view. This is the video for the Super C's. So I'm doing the Super C's channel. This is the Super C's version of the run that I'm going to be uploading on the Super C's channel. So everybody, please support the Super C's. We're going to be doing more runs like this year. This is a very, very great feat for us. And we're happy to get this no death run. These are one of the toughest bosses right now. I'll tell you right now, this boss right here keeps me on the edge of my seat because you can't predict what he's going to do. He jumps, he flies through the air. You can't predict what he's gonna. Sometimes he's going at Game Sensei, and then sometimes he's right here. I think he's targeting me. He's absolutely targeting me here. As you can see, I took a hit, and that one, you see how much blood it took away, and I absolutely had to stay away. You have to. Only one player should face the boss in this. Two players facing the boss here would absolutely just become more confusing because the boss is not going to be focused on one guy. He's going to be focused on two, and it's going to cause confusion, and it's going to cause deaths. So he has to be focused. One player is always best for one player to take him on. As you can see, he was coming at me. He was coming after me. So I had to stay on guard while dodging his jump kicks and doing my power. So now this is the stage right here that this is the doppel stage. I was getting really nervous right here because we are here at the doppel fight, and this is what determines whether you're going to do the no death run or not. This is what separates the men from the boys. So I was getting a little bit nervous, and the Wookiees were getting me, and the Eddies were getting a drop on me when usually the Eddies and the Wookiees don't get me. So I was becoming very nervous. So Game Sensei was trying to get me to calm down. And we both we both took some really, really hard hits. Game Sensei was trying to, make sure that I didn't catch a body here because that would end, of course, that would end my run. So it's okay because we get food and it fills up our life. So once we get to the doppel fight, I gotta make sure I keep my nerves down and I don't get nervous because I got to stay healthy as possible for the doppel fight. This is where the no death run usually ends for us. When we've done our no death runs last summer, when we did the 1cc, this is where it usually ends. So I gotta keep my A game, I gotta keep my focus, I gotta make sure I stay healthy as possible. And I'm doing a good job right here with the Wookiees and the Eddies, because the Wookiees and the Eddies can really fuck me up. You gotta remember, it's two players, they're aggressive in this, and plus those Z guys with the Freddy claws can body me in 2 hits. Okay, right here it gets really, really, really funky with the hamburger guys, because they come at you, they carry all of the food, so we're trying to harvest some food for us right here while staying away from the fire, all the fire and stuff that they bring out, which can really cause hurt. We don't need to be hurt going up against the Zoppos. We need to be healthy as possible going up against the Doppels. As you can see, the harvest is terrible. We only got 1 sandwich and 2 lemons. And Game Sensei have already taken up 1 of the lemons, so now all we got is a sandwich. Mind you guys, the harvest is bad. Now see what amazing thing we accomplished right here with just a sandwich. As you can see, I'm taking on Baby. I'm trying to keep Baby at a standpoint, taking on my own doppel. My own doppel is going to target me, so that's why I got to make sure I get him, weak as I possibly can. Now it's 3 against 2, and we're gonna have 3 doppels. So now I'm focusing on just taking out Baby because Baby's approaching me. Game Sensei has got 2 doppels going up against him. He's already getting weak. He got the sandwich, so now we don't have no more blood. So we gotta rely on pure skill right here. Pure fucking skill. So look how Baby is taking out So now Game Sensei needs help because Game Sensei is weak. Game Sensei is about to die. So now I gotta step in and help Game Sensei take out Captain Commando. Capcom has gotta go. We gotta take out Capcom right now. So while I'm trying to battle Baby, I took out Capcom, and now it comes down to just taking out my Doppel. So as you can see, I gotta make sure that I land every hit because I can get cheapened right here. Game Sensei sort of helping me a little bit to make sure I accomplish that and make sure that Baby does not cheapen me out. As you can see right here, this is the deal breaker. Victory is ours. Yes, it's been accomplished. Mind you guys, we only had a sandwich. Game Sensei and I had practice not taking any food and doing the Doppels head on without any food, and we have become successful. It worked out for us because guess what? We only had a sandwich, and Game Sensei it only filled up Game Sensei's half of his meter, and we were still able to beat the Doppels. So now, guys, right now I'm nervous because the no death run is at hand. All I have to do is survive this, get to the last boss, body the last boss, which the last boss has been a cakewalk for us because we do the juggles, we do the what you call the volleyballing the enemy, and he has absolutely been enemy. So he is the only thing standing between us and the no death run. So right now my hands are shaking. I am so nervous because I can't fuck this up. I can't let those Wookiees get the drop on me. I can't let those guys with the knives get the drop on me. I gotta stay healthy as possible because I'm going to be using my power to make sure the boss, I keep him at bay. Even if I miss one of the tosses, I can set him up again. And I gotta have enough power for that. I gotta have enough blood for that. So I gotta survive right here. I gotta make sure I stay healthy as possible. I had to use one of my powers because the Wookiees were getting the best of me. And again, you see the Wookiee, he had a sort of like jump kick again. So now here's where I'm nervous. I'm so nervous right here. My hands are shaking. My hands are so shaking because I can't fucking mess up this toss. If I mess it up, I can mess up the no death run. And I gotta make sure I can redeem if I mess up. So right here, this is the deal breaker. This is where the no death run determines where it happens. After we took out the toughest contender. He's not tough, guys. We're already taking him out. Look at it. Look at how we just bodying him. So now I gotta make sure I make all the right moves. And I'm nervous as shit. Now something's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Look at what I just did. I threw him the other way. And now I gotta rely on my power to keep us alive. And keep powering and then bodied him. No death run, baby. We did it. Sweet victory.
Good job, baby. Let me see it. No death run, folks. No death run. We just did it. Hell yeah, motherfucker. Oh.
No death run.
No death run.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, ding, ding. No death run. I gotta be careful. I don't press the wrong buttons. No death run. Oh, run. No death run. We did it. See that did it. We did that. See has did it. We still fight. See has did it. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 that dog. Gotta save the video because I got. Woo! Okay, yeah, I gotta be careful. I gotta make sure I press the right button. I'm scared here. Don't even put the initials. You know what I mean? This shit's so sensitive.
You guys go.
Woo! My goodness.
Thank you
I
for
better
watching.
look at this shit because I can see the devil trying to fuck with me right now. The devil's trying to fuck with us. I gotta be sure to press this one aside. Not that too. Oh yeah, we did it, folks. We did it. No death run, motherfucking. Oh yeah.
We did it, guys. Thank you for watching. This is the Super C's. And stay tuned for more No Death Runs, everyone.
Yeah, we did it.
And I
We
see
did
you
it.
later.
This is for all you fools out there. We did it, folks. With the Super C's finally done it. Yeah. Okay. No death run, folks. Here we go. I'm gonna have to save it now. Here we go.